I'm Fadza.
I'm Dylan.
And welcome to the podcast where we discuss the things we love,
The things we hated,
and the things that made us say,
what in the noughties?
Hey, Fudzy!
hello, Dylan.
Hi, third time's a charm. I'm not gonna lie, this is the third time that we've tried to start this podcast, and each time it's been my fault.
Makes a change. Usually it's my
Yeah.
laptop.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what's going on. I'm just having so many technical difficulties. Do you know why? It's because I haven't closed down all my tabs. That's normally what I do before we start recording. Gosh,
No,
I'm an idiot.
Good
That's
idea,
why.
actually.
Oh well. Yeah. But anyway, how are you?
I'm good. Not bad. How are you?
Not what? Sorry?
Not bad.
Oh, I thought you said not. I don't know what I thought you said. I was like, that sounded weird. I am doing good. I am doing just fine. Ooh. Ooh, indeed.
Do you know what I was watching earlier that reminded me of this?
What?
Bless her soul, and I love her so much, but I was watching Michelle Williams perform Whitney Houston's what was that song? Friday night you and your boys went out to eat. She was performing that song, and yeah, she was not hitting the notes. Bless her. She did at some points, but it's also because the band was so loud. I think she just could not hear herself, and like, because then she
God, I
made a
think
comment
I've-
about how the band's really loud. But it's just not a song made for her either. Like, it just was.
It's like, don't cover Whitney. Like, I think that's just should be one of the rules. Whitney and Beyonce and Michael Jackson are three artists that like you just leave. Actually no. And yeah, those are three artists that you should just leave alone at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's so true.
Don't try and touch their stuff. And on the other side, if those artists, especially Whitney Houston, the way that Whitney like covered so many people's songs, just made them better is embarrassing.
Yeah.
I
Is it
know
like-
that if you got,
Dolly Parton, who was like, yeah, that's her song now.
Yeah, Dolly Parton was like, I don't like my own version anymore. Well, she didn't say that exactly, but she was like, yeah, she did a better job. And then even one of Whitney Houston's most famous songs, I'm Every Woman, that's not her song. She just took Shaka Khan's song for no reason. And she made it better, unfortunately, considering that the Shaka Khan version was really good to begin with. But every time I listen to Shaka Khan's version, I'm like, there's a little buffer room that's missing for me.
Yeah.
So Dolly Parton's also the one that has a husband that doesn't like her music.
No, I've seen that. She says it every time she performs. She's like, yeah, he's not listening to a single. One of these songs.
I'm like, damn. But at least he's honest, I guess.
Yeah, I love Dolly Parton. I don't understand how you could not love her.
I know. I feel like, especially if she's paying bills. Come on.
I know.
I would suffer a little bit of country. Well, I actually no. I don't think you'd have to suffer through Dolly Parton.
No, I think her
Come on,
music. I think
it's
there's
not like
some-
95.
No, that's true. There's a lot of classics, and I also think there's some white people who I'm like, oh, like you're just universal. I love it. No,
Can you give us some examples?
like I'm a lover of ABBA. I'm not gonna lie. Like I would go see ABBA live. I actually do want to go to that like ABBA thing. that's
Charlene
going-
went to it.
She doesn't even
She
like
went-
ABBA.
It was with work though. It was like they had
Oh.
tickets for the ABBA voyage. She said it was weird, but it was
Wow.
really good.
I actually want to go because I actually like their music. So
I just feel like it feels a little bit dystopian to me. I don't know. It feels like an episode of Black Mirror.
I'm dancing to their music in my head. Carrying on. No, the other day after I got back from Charlene's party a few weekends ago, I was like listening to the playlist, and then I just went on an ABBA spiral because there was like one ABBA song on there. So then I just started listening to all of ABBA's songs on the train home, and I was like, it's just banger after banger after banger. I love it.
No, they do have bangers. They do have a lot. I think I always think that I don't like ABBA because I associate it with like there was this club at uni called Flares. I'm sure there are some across the country,
Yeah.
But it's just they play like a lot of cheesy music, and I spent a lot of time in there in like first and second year. So I feel like when I hear ABBA, I get taken back to Flares. But at the same time, I'm like, actually, their music is actually it's a banger. It's a bop.
No, it is. It is.
And now,
It's like I used to have this one girl in I think it was primary school, who brought her like, you know, iPods that you could bring. The only thing that was loaded onto her iPod was every single ABBA song known to man. So it was just replay ABBA after ABBA after ABBA to her. And at the time I was like, you're weird. Like when I was like 11, I was like, weird. But now I'm older, I'm like, no, I get it.
that's kind of a vibe.
It is.
It's kind of a vibe. And I'm sure the crazy thing is, I'm sure there was like 2 gigabytes on that iPod. So like the fact that she managed to get all of ABBA's songs on there, she was a dedicated fan. I mean, for someone to be like 11 and be a huge fan of ABBA, strange, but I get it at the same time. I get it.
No, I get
That
it.
was like Charlene with Michael Jackson. Charlene was Charlene went through a phase where all she would listen to was Michael Jackson, like literally.
Crazy. And it's crazy because I know multiple people who are exactly the same. There was
at the same time
his fan base is crazy.
His music, I listen to Michael Jackson's music. I'm always like, no one else could have made music like this. It's insane.
Nah. I know.
I guess he's a bit of a controversial figure, isn't he? So let me not get cancelled.
You won't.
You never know, Fuzzy. You never know. But I'm let's not talk about it there. Anyway, should we move on to our topic for the week? Yeah. So the show. I'm just getting nervous. I'm getting so scared. I don't know why I'm getting scared. Like 10 people watch this. It's fine. The show of the week, is The Moment of Truth.
Exciting.
If you want to take it away, yeah, this show was really good.
This show was kind of insane. In theory, very simple, but also kind of insane. So basically, the concept of it was all they had to do was tell the truth until the end, and they would earn £500,000. So basically, the way it goes is they have contestants who are asked over 50 questions with a lie detector, and then off those questions, the show picks 21 of them to go through into the live show. So then once they get into the live show, they have different rounds. I think it basically counted down. So the first round 1 was 6 questions, round 2 was 5, and then it kind of went up that way. And each tier has different awards. So like the first tier was 10,000, then the next tier was 25,000. Kind of like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, basically. Think of it that way.
But instead of being asked trivia questions, it's delving into your personal life and trying to destroy your relationships, your most personal and closest relationships.
Yes, and then the other thing is, so you can say at any point, okay, I'm dipping out, like, and that's fine. If you've already won, like, say, £10,000, you can say that's enough, and you can go home with the £10,000. But if you lie, you go home with none, no matter how high up you got. Unlike with Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, where sometimes after a certain point, if you got a question wrong, you'd still win a certain amount of money. This one was like, no matter where you are, if you lie at any point, that's it, no money for you.
Very big stakes. I always think like, I'd always be like, I think I would have taken it after 10K. Me personally, I would have dipped after 10K. So I'm like, I know that I probably lied somewhere.
Yeah. I don't know what I would have done. I think I would have carried on going until I was like uncomfortable. And then I'd be let's go.
I don't think that I would have I don't think I would have done the show to begin with, to be honest. This is too risky. Unless like I think I would have done the show if I was ready to like just torpedo my life. It's literally like I'd have to go into the show with like, oh, either I'm really angry at someone who I'm really close with, or I'm like at a point in my life where I'm like, well, nothing worse can happen than what's happened already.
See, I don't know though, because I don't think I have anything that's like that deep about myself that could be exposed. Like,
Yeah, I don't think so either, actually.
there's like mild stuff that I wouldn't tell my parents, but it's like, well, it's not mild. It's like just like I wouldn't tell my parents for a reason, but it's not like things that would like break a relationship. It would just be really awkward if my parents knew. And they'd be like maybe a bit disappointed, or like, well, not. Don't worry if you ever listen to this, Mum. It's not that bad, but like, it's just. We all have secrets. But like, you know, there's nothing that deep that I'm like, oh, I'll never be able to face the public again.
So I'm just nodding and letting you just spiral deeper and deeper.
Be honest, be real.
Like,
you
could
give
have
your
stopped
take.
talking like 2 minutes ago.
I'm being real. That's the point of this right now.
I'm not on the show.
Okay.
I'm saying I wouldn't do it just because I feel like I have the same thoughts as you, but I feel like I'd get in there and then they'd find something, because I'm wondering what the vetting process was for this show, because I'm sure they did extensive interviews before they before they got together the set of 21 questions.
Yeah.
Because like they seem to, because I watched episode 5, then I watched episode 6. And it seems like they found like things to zone in on people in their lives based on what I'm assuming was like preliminary interviews that they did with these people.
Yeah, which is an interesting thing. Another thing is the host of this show was like, he just doesn't know. He just was there to host it on the day, but he doesn't know any of the behind the scenes stuff on like how they got this way. Or like, I was listening to it on Cody Ko's YouTube channel, which I'm sure if you've heard of this show is where a lot of people would have heard this show. But yeah, he was saying he honestly does not know if it was real or fake, all of it. Like, he has no
Really?
clue. Yeah, he was
just
like,
turned
I
up
don't know.
and just read out questions.
Yeah, because even he was like, I don't know. It still puzzles me to this day, because apparently at the end of this show, they all had to like take pictures together, and he was like the producer, and the whole like. We'll get to it, but everyone involved in the situation took pictures together for the promo. So he was like, it was so awkward, but he was also like, they all did it. So it's like, I don't know if this is real, is this fake? He was just like confused. But he was also like, this is so awkward.
Oh my god. So should we dive into episode 5 then? Because that's one that we both watched.
So the only other thing that I wanted to say was, you can have one chance to block a question and it will be replaced with an alternative question, is also part of the game. That's the last thing.
Yeah.
So this episode was about Lauren, who was a 26-year-old hairdresser, the oldest of 3, and married to a police officer named Frank. Was it?
I don't remember the husband's name. I think it was Frank though, yeah.
Yeah, so in the audience, she had her 2 siblings, her parents, and her husband.
Yes, she did, yeah. I would have loved to have come on the show. Oh, no, actually, no, I changed my mind halfway through. I was like, if someone I knew was on the show, I would have said, no, it's coming on. Because I don't want to be there to hear the answers, and I'm not going to watch it. Just win the money, and then we'll do something afterwards, you know?
Yeah, I love Mess though, so I would have wanted to be there.
I don't know. If Lauren was going on, I would not have gone on. Because surely everyone in her life knows that she's messy. Come on.
Well, I don't know, because.
Oh yeah, and by the way, this episode starts with like the show host being like, "I didn't even want this episode to air.
Oh yeah.
I'm being have to air it." It's like, this is the most insane episode that I've watched. Which I thought he was being dramatic, but then I watched the other episode. I watched episode 6. I'm telling you, no, this episode was insane. Because the next episode is like kind of like hard-hitting questions, but it's like no one's like beefing with anyone, and like the vibes aren't quite as hostile. But that episode was crazy.
So the episode starts off with round 1, where she's asked about, have you ever lied about liking a hairstyle? Because she's obviously a hairdresser, so it's like, and then she says no to that one. But it's like
I was shocked when she said no. I was like, surely.
Really?
I was like, surely there's been like sometimes when you finish, you'd be like, what the fuck have I done?
But she's just like messy vibe. So I feel like she'd just be real and be like, God, I didn't like that.
True, yeah. Like, I fucked that up. Oh god.
The thing is, though, it kind of makes me feel bad because lie detectors aren't even 100% reliable. So it's like,
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, if you're just nervous, a lie detector can detect like a quote unquote lie.
yeah.
But,
so yeah, and then the next question, which also threw me off, was, have you ever flashed a stranger? And then they asked Frank, her husband, and they're like, Frank, do you think she's ever flashed a stranger? And he's like, well, I have many a time. And I was like,
what's happening?
What do you mean? You flashed a few, and he's a police officer. Like, I'm sorry, but the stuff that's going on in the UK right now, I'm like, that is a red flag.
Literally, someone needs to investigate him.
He does need to be investigated. Because he was like, the way he chuckled a bit too hard at that.
Yeah.
Anyway, she says yes. She has flashed a stranger. And it was all like hee hee ha ha. And then the first taster of like, okay, this could get messy, is would you rather give food to a stray dog or a homeless person?
Oh my god, this made me crack up. She literally went, ew, a dog.
She boldly was like, a dog. I would rather give money to a dog than a homeless person. And she was like, and then he was like, why? And she was like, well, because, you know, why would I give someone some money to like a dirty homeless person when there's like
they're dirty and they're like gross and it's like, ew, I just can't deal with it. I was like, oh my god, she literally said, broke bitch is so crusty, disgusting.
I was like, real. I mean, not
I know
me,
she loves,
but like,
oh yeah.
You know, a breed of people, a brand of people who would 100% give stray dog food before, or money, or like literally anything before they would even look in the direction of a homeless person. Dylan, we've got a broad range of audience members. I'm wholesome. I'm not going to say anything out loud.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Oh shit, we're recording now, aren't we?
I'm innocent. I just want to say it out loud. Like,
no, I was just pointing to my palm because there was a little bit of anyway, yeah, next question.
Then the next question was kind of like, have you ever had pleasure from seeing one of your siblings get into trouble? And she said yes, but haven't we all? So that one was like,
and she was like, that's so easy. I would be like, yeah, many times.
And then things get a bit sticky for her because they then ask, have you ever been fired from a job for stealing money? And she says yes, but I've come to terms with it. But I was like, yes, but that's all your job offers gone. Like, Lauren,
literally,
and after this show, she's
you better win the money, sis.
Too much.
You better win the money. Oh my god, you forgot to say, even before they asked a question about your siblings, they asked like, are you close to your siblings? And she's like, not as close as I want us to be. And all her family just went, whoa. Bearing in mind that wasn't one of the truth or dare, like one of the truth questions. I was like, why did you say this? Like, it's literally setting up hostile vibes. And all her family literally looked around like, what are you talking about?
I would love to interview her, to be honest. Like, I really appreciate how honest, like, she was real the whole way through.
No, she was a realist. She was a realist for this.
And then they asked her if she would do it again, steal, and she said no, and that was true. So good for her.
I did not believe, but I would have been like, yeah.
No, because I
would have been like, they said it.
Oh, I know. I wouldn't.
What was that you were saying about job offers?
No. I would never.
Do you know, in the episode 6, I asked if you could rob a bank and get away with it, would you do it? And everyone was like, ooh, in the audience. And I was like, this is the easiest question I've ever heard. And luckily the woman also was like, of course I would. Are you dumb? I was like, they're insured. They're fine. They're actually fine. The people that own the banks are fine.
Yeah.
Uh,
So that was her winning 10,000K. So well done, Lauren. And
Yeah.
then we go on to round 2. So the first
Hmm.
question of round 2, you quickly see we get into the relationship questions. So the question that she was asked was, have you ever pretended to be asleep to avoid sex with your husband? And she jumped at that to be like, I've used every excuse under the book, honey. I've
She said,
pretended I've had a
headache, felt sick,
migraine.
need to sweep, do the dishwasher, have a trip to Mars. Anything to get him to not touch me.
Yeah, and her husband was like, ha, in the background, like, funny.
Saying yes is fine, but I was like, at the same time, I was like, you don't have to go in like this.
At
I was like,
this
she's
point,
providing a lot of extra information, but I'm like, what? You don't have to. Lauren.
yeah, I want to hear more from Lauren as to like, because I like to take the woman's side, so I want to know like the ways that he harmed her, because there's no way that she was just like treating this man like
Fancy,
dirt for no reason.
Fancy, I'm the same, but I have a feeling that there is no other side. I feel like the other side is not going to endear you to Lauren.
No, I'm taking
I'm
the
imagining
side.
him having very many. I'm imagining him with a lot of lonely nights, just sat on the couch with a beer, being like, "Where's Lauren?" Which I hate to admit, but I do see it that way. Sorry, carry on.
Anyway, then they asked her, do you blame your husband for your lack of close friends? And she said yes. And at this point, you found out they've been married for 2 years and they're already
Yeah, it's
taking
getting a
each
bit
day as
messy.
it comes. Like, they kept
getting
being
a
like,
bit
we're
messy
taking
when-
it each day as it comes. I'm like, it's only 2 years, guys. It's not like an
Like,
8-year
it's
marriage.
way too early for you guys to be like shaky.
Yeah.
Like, that's so scary, because I always think with stuff like that, I'm like, so before you got married, did you guys like each other? Like, what was going
I know.
If we're like 2 minutes into the marriage and you already hate each other, like, what was going on before the proposal?
Yeah.
Gosh.
And then I put down here there was like an irrelevant question about the sister. Like about like would she be a surrogate for her sister or something like that, which I was like,
Yeah, it
meh,
was so random.
who'd care?
Yeah.
And the sister's like, she's never said it out loud, so it was emotional. I was like, shut up. We don't care.
Because why? Okay.
Like, okay.
That's such a random question, because even if you said no to that, I don't even think, I'd be like, yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
Like, carrying a child is a very big thing to do.
And then anyway, then we go on to the parents, and they ask initially the dad, like, do you like what did he say? Are you proud of her, or like do you love her or something like that? And he was like, I love her unconditionally. But he was like, I love
yeah.
her. Very unconvincing. That is what I was saying. He was very like, you're not giving much, Dad, like please. Like more energy.
Unconditional means that it's been tested.
Yeah.
That's what I hear. I hear despite of everything I do, still like her, love her even.
Yeah. And then the question was, do you think your parents are proud of you? And it was like, yes, I think, was it? And then that was
No, I
just
think
like
she said no.
Oh, she said no, and then her parents
Yeah,
said
she said no, yeah. Yeah, we are proud of you. Because they started crying. Yeah. The show really like twisted the knife sometimes.
Moment. But then we get onto do you know things about your father that you've kept from your mother? And she says yes, and it's true. And the dad like leaps from his seat to go and hug her.
And hugs her.
Like, yes. And then he goes and hugs her and then runs back to his wife. And the wife's like, what is going on? The mum is like, what?
And they all just go, we're going to talk about this off air. We'll talk about this off air. And starts getting, the temperature of the room drops by like 10 degrees. It was scary.
That's when I was like, that's when I was like, is this acting? Is this real? I don't know.
That's what I was like. I don't think there's another side to her and Frank's relationship. I think that she might be the villain here, because what's going on? I was like, what's going on? Oh god.
It reminds me.
How did they even know to ask that question?
I don't know. It reminds me of Oh, you know that did you watch that UK show Blue Story or Blue something? But it was like
He
two
was on
couples in
YouTube.
therapy. Yeah, but it was two couples in therapy, and then like they kept getting asked like going into their relationships questions each episode, and it was like viral
No,
on
I don't think
Twitter. Oh,
I
but it
don't
was
think I
really
watched
funny.
it.
But then
No.
in the end, they were acting. So I'm always like, is this acting or is it not? But it was so convincing in that show that everyone was like, they're not
Yeah.
acting. It's real. It has to be real. But anyway, so I don't know with this, but I also think
I think this
every
was
other
real. I'm not gonna
real.
lie, but at the same time, I always assume that things are real because I'm like, it's more fun.
Yeah. So anyway, then we go on to round 3. So she's won 100,000. She's won 25,000, and she's trying to win 100,000 now. And initially she's like, she clarifies. I don't know why he asked her this because it's a bit of a stupid question, but she's like, she's not here for the money, and she's like, I just want to live in my truth.
Yeah, she's like, I just want the truth to be out there. Have they already
Which
asked
I
the
do
wedding
partly
ring
believe.
question? Or is that coming
No,
up?
I think it's coming up.
Okay.
Which I actually do partly believe.
Yeah, I believe as well, because that's when I put down, I was like, maybe I would do this show if I was ready to self-destruct my life. Like, if you're at a phase in your life where you're like, well, I want to, like, either cut ties or, like, I want to get everything out there, I may as well get money while I'm doing it, you know?
True.
Because I think that was her plan.
Yeah. And then he also asked, like, how good do you think the communication is between you and your husband? And she's like, we're working on it. And I'm like, oh, another knife twisting.
Literally, it's like, once again, they've been married for 2 minutes.
And Frank like giggles in the background, and he's like, yeah, we're working on it. And I'm like, damn, this is not looking good for you.
This is looking scary.
And then the first question he asked is, do you stay in touch with any of your boyfriends, your ex-boyfriends, that he doesn't know about? And he's like, I think I want to hear her answer when the host asks Frank if like what he thinks, and he's like, well, I think I want to hear her answer, but he's like giggling about it, like pretending to be like, haha, like it's funny, but it's like, I know Frank is hiding inside. He's hiding inside.
I know he wants to go backstage and scream into a pillow.
And she says no, and luckily it's true, which I'm like, interesting.
Do you know what I was thinking though? I was like, that means that there's an ex that she's in contact with that he knows about, is the way that I was thinking about it. Because I'm like, I think he knows of the ex or the exes that she's still in contact with, and that's still a point of contention. So I think he's like, I'm interested to hear if there's any more that I don't know about.
Oh, I still don't get that, but like I kind of get it.
The way things panned out later, I'm like, no, I think he knows that she's like in contact with someone, but it's a point of contention.
Yeah.
So I just want to know, is there any more like skeletons in the closet, which
and then okay. Then next we get to the wedding ring question of whether or not she's taken her wedding ring off before and pretended to be single, and she says yes. And
to me, this one is very like, this question was like very low stakes.
But everyone did kind of gasp. But I was like,
I know. I was like, a free drink. Yeah. I probably would do it. I could be married to like the best person in the world, and I still would be like, Mama's single tonight.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't think that one was that deep. And then the next question was, did you believe you might have been in love with your former boyfriend on your wedding day? I hope I've said that correctly, because that was a loaded sentence for me to say. And she pretty quickly says yes. And she doesn't really look guilty.
Emphatically says yes. But
Frank does look crushed. He's trying to hold a brave face still, but he looks crushed. Guys, remember we're on level 3. We're not even on level 5, on round 5. Like, this is like round 3, and these are the questions. So.
Oh gosh, no, this was cutthroat. This was cutthroat. This is when like the room like started getting very quiet because everyone was like, "Oh, damn."
And yeah, so Frank is crushed by this, and he says that he wasn't aware, which I was like, oh, this is terrible for you, Frank.
Yeah, this is not the place to find out in front of loads of other people.
And then the kicker, I think this is when everything just goes absolutely downhill, which I know if you're listening to this right now, you're obviously like, or watching this, you're probably like, it's already downhill. What do you mean downhill? No, it gets worse. No. So then they're like, we want a guest to answer this next question.
And by the way, in the next episode, the guest that they bring out is like a former Major League Baseball player. So like ask a question being like, oh, have you ever imagined like a Giants player while you're having sex with your husband? And she's like, oh my God, yes. So this is why I'm saying, in comparison to the rest of the show, I think this episode was very unique.
Yeah. Unique! Because they bring out her ex-boyfriend. And he is so messy because it's like he wanted to ask you this question, and the question he asked, because I think he's messy because why did he agree to come on the show?
I know. How did they find him? How did they find him? This is when I was like,
because did they even offer him money, or did he just go for the
probably not? He probably didn't. I was like,
messy. You're dating.
I was like, getting her ex on the show is crazy to begin with. But I'm like, being a producer must have been so much fun on these shows, especially if you have no morals. Because it's just like, what's the worst thing we could do?
Your ex is an absolute dickhead. That's all I'm gonna say about that. And his question is initially, if I wanted to get back together with you, would you leave your husband? Is the question. And the sister like immediately is like, well, we're not going to answer that question. So she uses it. But at the same time,
she's like, the sister was like, I don't want to hear the answer to that question, which tells you pretty much everything you need.
Yeah. And then around the same time, the dad holds hands with the husband, which I'm like, oh, this is not a good sign. I wonder if the dad knows something, but he does hold his hand.
Definitely. I think the dad and the daughter are like tight, you know.
Yes. So
I think the dad knows the answer to all these questions.
No, I think he does actually. I think they're like really close, which makes me think she is just the person that the show presented her as. Because I think the dad was probably hiding an affair or something like that too.
Yeah, definitely. The way that he jumped up was like, yes!
Yeah,
the way the dad jumped up was so funny. After you found out that his secret is still a secret. God, that was bad. It's either gambling or cheating, one of the two.
Messy. And then, so now they have to replace the question with an alternative question. And so the host replaces it with... do you believe I am the man you should have married?
And that is the ex saying this, by the way.
And she takes a long pause, but she then says yes. Which I'm like, okay, girl, this is like for a check.
This is getting a bit much.
100,000 you could earn like in a few years. I know it's not the same as cold cash, but like, come on.
Like this was when it started getting crazy. I mean, before this it was like, oh, this is a bit unethical, but now it's like, oh no, this is like the end of a marriage right here. Is what we're witnessing.
You are watching it because the way that Frank like collapses into himself, it was just like devastating to watch. It was really tough to watch. Fun, but tough to watch.
Yeah.
Like good TV, but very, very dramatic. He looks like he's about to cry at this point. Yeah.
And even the host is starting to look uncomfortable. It's like, we can stop if you want to stop. And then Frank
Yeah,
eventually
that's another thing.
Frank is like, do you know what? What's the worst that can happen? Let's carry on.
Yeah. So he's like, yeah, just carry on. And he does ask, are you guys unhappy? And then Frank is like, well, sometimes I guess. Which I'm like, oh gosh. He was not expecting
Bless
it.
Frank.
I do not think he
Yeah.
was expecting this. So then they have like this, like, yeah, like you're saying, this long pause on like should we carry on? And yeah, everyone says carry on except for the mother, who's like, I think you should stop now, which is a true mother thing to say.
Yeah, it's been like, this is getting a bit crazy. But I was laughing because I was like, Frank is just trying to make sure that he gets enough money in this settlement when they get divorced.
Yeah.
Frank is like, well, we may as well get the P now. Like, we can't come all this way.
Yeah. So then we are on to round 4. So she's won 100,000. We're looking to win 200,000. And the host acknowledges like the other questions were bad, but from here on out they get bad, is basically what he's like. And he's like, are you sure? And she's like, yeah, I may as well. And then he's like, since being married, have you ever, oh, my earring. Let me put that back in. I feel like it's all the drama.
Literally, your earring dropped. That's what Frank looked like.
Literally. Okay, so then he's basically like, since being married, have you ever had sexual relations with anyone other than your husband? Which is a big question. And you would think that someone would be like, it's time to pack it up now. If that was
she was like, let's go home.
But no, guys, no. She was like, yes. And at this point, Frank is in shock. He is in shock. He does not know what to do with himself. But like, what would you do with yourself as a man? Like, that's so, not even a man, like anyone. That is so embarrassing on live TV. It's so funny. I was watching
Lauren is crazy.
Let it burn.
I know I like chaotic people, but I think Lauren might be a bit much for me. This is a bit too much. Like, she's literally like, I know you'll get caught in the friendly fire if you hang out with this girl, I'm so sure.
Yeah, you will.
There's no way. Gosh. Cashola.
And then we come on to the next question, which was, do you think you're a good person? And this one was a lot to think about, but she's like, yes, I do think I'm a good person. And the dad's like, it's true. The dad's like, it's true. It's true. But it was false, guys. It was false.
All the questions to lose on. She lost.
She lied. So, guys, this literally means that she lost every single penny. She went home with nothing.
She went home with divorce papers, is what she went home with. I was shocked. All of that money, all of that. She said all of that to win nothing, and to lose on such an easy question.
Nothing. She won nothing, and in the end, it was because she wasn't honest with herself. Which
Literally,
I think is so funny.
Literally,
it's like, you're a terrible person, bitch.
It's such a funny question to lose on.
I know. It's
such a. Oh gosh.
Shocking.
I feel like that was such an easy role. You could have just said no, and everyone would be like, yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh.
So she lost.
No.
And then I did some digging because I was like, oh, I'm interested to see what happened. And there's like she didn't interview anyone really that much after the show. There's like very little on her, except for the fact that she did get a divorce. Like, that's the only thing that was confirmed, that her and Frank did.
Did she?
Yeah.
Shocking.
Yeah. And then I saw on a Reddit thread, which we don't know how reliable that is, but apparently it wasn't just her ex-boyfriend, but several other men, sometimes more than one at a time. Yeah.
No, Frank got played. Bless Frank.
She was.
I'm sorry. I'm so rarely on the man's side, but I've got to be on Team Frank for this one because this woman.
I think I want to hear her
wild.
side. I want to hear her side of the story.
I do as well, but Fuzzy, just know that once you hear the truth, it's probably going to be worse. I think if you want to stay on her side, this is all the information you can hear. Otherwise, you're gonna have to do way more much more mental gymnastics to try and justify what the hell was going on. Because this woman sounds insane.
It was kind of bonkers,
Do you know,
but in a way
one
that
thing that I
love.
love the show is the audience is insane. Audience is so funny because it's like, have you committed genocide? Yes, that is the truth. Yes! It was like,
They did gasp on the homeless one. They cheered, but some of them were like in the background.
No, that would have just crazy. Especially, I think it was more her justification. This woman could not stop talking.
She was just like on one. I don't know what it was. I just want to hear.
Okay, conversely, like the next episode 6, was actually quite sweet. It was like a New Yorker woman. She's married to her husband for like 7 or 8 years, I think. She's there with her husband, her mom, her dad, and then her brother was there as well. And in comparison to this episode, it was actually so sweet because it was like, she was like, yeah, we're having like financial troubles, yada yada, and they were trying to like dig into like the relationship and try and like break them apart. Cause like some of the questions were like, do you think your ex-boyfriend would have been a better provider financially for your family than your current husband? And then she was like, no, I do not believe that because I'm with the best man that I could be with. And then that was true. And then the only ones that like got her were the ones that they got asked about her mom because they were like,
yeah,
do you think your in-laws have been better parents to you than your actual parents? And she was like, yeah, I do. But she was crying as she was saying it. She was like, there's so much that's happened. And then she also got asked, do you think you're a better parent? Do you think you're a better mother to your children than your mother was to you? And that made them all cry. And then she was like, yeah, I do think I have been. But all the questions about her husband were like, they were really trying, but she stuck by her man the whole time. It was actually really sweet.
Wow.
Really, and then they go. I think they stopped after either 25K. Yeah, I think they stopped at 25K. But they stopped 25K and they're like, this is gonna like help us so much, and everyone was hugging. They walked away a happy family, that one.
Yeah.
And I was really the whole time. But that was the one where I was like, everyone was cheering as well for like the most insane things, and I was like, why are you guys cheering right now for her saying that she had a terrible childhood?
Yeah.
And on that one, the question that she got blocked was, do you ever get embarrassed letting people know or telling people that you're Jewish? And then I think her husband because she started looking shifty. And her husband was like, yeah, let's not do that one.
Yeah. No, I think that's fair enough to not do that one.
Because I thought the whole show was gonna be like this same tone, but I don't think it ever got as deep as this. This one was crazy.
I think there's a few episodes, but not. This one was the craziest it got. But there are a few other slightly crazy episodes. But yeah, this one was definitely the worst that it ever got. I think it's one of the most
almost more levels.
Yeah, I feel like it's got to be one of the craziest episodes of TV in history.
No, generally, Lauren is crazy. I love her though.
Absolutely.
I'm not on her side. I feel bad for Frank, but I absolutely love her. She gives very like feral energy in a sense. I was like, oh. The fact that the question that she lost on was, do you think you're a good person, blew my mind. I was like, no way was this what like knocked her off kilter.
Yeah. Yeah.
More than willing to admit affairs, admit that she hates her husband, but she was not gonna concede her pride. She was shocked though.
The thing is, I don't think it was a pride thing. I think she genuinely did think that. I just think it was like an unconsciously, you don't think that. And she didn't realize that she didn't think, like she wasn't digging deep enough into her own psyche.
I think she thought no, and then she's like, no. Obviously, she's like, yes, I'm a good person. I have to be, don't I?
Yeah.
But then obviously they've been asked. What I'm wondering is, what was level 5 going to be?
No, I know. I think that was going to get
What else could have happened?
I think
No, I think so. No, you're so correct. Oh my god, they were gonna ask how many people have you had sex with? I bet it was gonna be like, how many people have you had sex with since getting married?
And
How many
then
people have had
digging
sex with
deeper
at one
into
time?
the dad's secret as well. Like whatever that
Yeah,
was.
definitely. I feel like she would have lost on that. It seems like she was tight with her dad.
Yeah, I think so too. So I feel bad for her mum because her mum seemed polite
Same.
enough, but she does not
Her mum
like
seemed
her
lovely,
mum.
bless her.
But
No, obviously.
the show got cancelled after 3 seasons, unfortunately. So they did have like a little bit of a run, but 3 seasons is how.
Yeah, they did. I think out of all the shows that were doing this season, this one had like the most
content.
episodes.
Yeah.
Like this one, like the other ones like have like one season and then one season. There's one show that only has one episode. I forgot what show that is.
Oh.
That after the first episode, everyone was like, "You can't keep on doing this." But I feel like out of all the shows, just the one that could get brought back, I think.
Yeah.
Because it's on the cusp of like a little bit
way more
unethical.
PC now, so I don't know. Because people say like mental health and stuff.
Exactly.
So I don't know if we could ruin someone's life the way that we ruined Frank's. Even if he said that he wanted to participate, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, personally, I would not have taken part in this show whatsoever, as I've stated many, many times. I don't even have like secrets. That's the thing. It's just the thought of like accidentally, like at the same time, I'm like thinking that they will find something that I would be like, I didn't even think that was a limit in my head, but apparently it is.
My thing is, I think if they ask questions like, do you think this person's dress sense is hideous, or do you think they're ugly? I think then that will catch me out depending on who's there in front of me, because I'm not going to be fully honest if I don't think someone's attractive, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I think I could do that.
But the thing is, there's no one in my close family that they could ask. But it's like,
I feel like it'd be like, I feel like it'd be like. Yeah. Well, I'm not on the show. I'm not on the show. What am I doing? No, okay. That I found my limit. Anyway.
Yeah.
This is making it into the episode.
We're living in our truth.
No, I'm not. I think I'm gonna bleep what I said. But just know that I came. Yeah, just know I came up with a question that I realized, like, oh, this would cause issues. No, I can't. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
Anyway.
I think this is the end of the episode.
What was your weirdest, worst, and best moment? Come on.
Oh yes. Okay. Sorry. Oh god. I think my best moment. Oh, sorry. Oh, let me look. I think my best moment was when they brought the ex out. I'm sorry, I'm so messy. When they brought the ex out, I was like, they are crazy. But I also kind of love this. What was your best?
My best moment was, I think it has to be when she lost it all. I love a bit of chaos like that, and I love how poetic it was that she lost when she was lying to herself, not when she was like when she lied to other people.
That image of her face when she realized when they said false is so funny.
Yeah.
I was like, are you shocked that you're a good person after everything we've been talking about?
Good feed. Good TV. I love that.
No, so good. What's my worst moment? I can't really think of like a worst moment because I just love mess. Like this was so much fun for me. To be honest, I think my worst moment is that she lost, so we didn't get to see the rest of the questions and see how far she was gonna go. Like, she lost on something that was like very low stakes. I would have loved to see her lose on a question that was like up in the ante. I was just excited to see where she was gonna go, what the rest of the questions were.
My worst was anything to do with the sister. No offense to her, I'm sure she's lovely, but the questions were so boring. So
Yeah, they were really boring. They were so boring. Would you be a
and she
surrogate for
kind
your
of messed it
sister?
up for her sister because the first question was easier in the sense of like, would you have married that guy instead? But then to make it like an even tougher question is what
Like, do
happened.
you think you should be married to me right now?
That's
So at least with the other one, it could be like, I've changed my mind and it was just wedding jitters, yada yada. But she can't justify thinking that she should be married to him.
bless her. She was
Crazy.
trying to protect her sister, but yeah.
Yeah. I think my weirdest was definitely has to be the homeless question. Her going on the homeless people. I was like, what is happening here?
My weirdest would be the flashing cop. I
Oh
think
my god, yeah.
copper who flashes people as a hobby is weird. So that's another reason why I'm Team Lauren, because just for that alone, red
Dark-sided.
card.
Yeah, literally. Gosh.
Yeah.
Oh god. Sorry, I can't believe that I shook myself there. I got a taste of what it was like to be on the show. That's so scary.
You did. You really did.
Anyway, I think that's where we're gonna end this episode.
Are you going to give a preview of what's next?
Yeah, next time, I think next we are doing our first nostalgia episode. So we haven't picked a topic yet, but I think we will pick a topic like what we did last season, based in 2000s, and we'll just do worst, weirdest, best. And then after that, we are going to do Superstar UK.
Interesting.
Like, deep dive TV show.
Fun. Interesting.
Oh no, I'm telling a lie. Sorry, I'm telling a lie. Next, we're gonna do Boy Meets Boy /
Oh, yeah.
Playing It Straight. That's what we're doing next. I forgot we changed the schedule.
Yeah.
But that one's the one where I think half the cast is straight, half the cast is gay, and they've got to sniff out. Oh no, the gay ones don't know that there's straight people there, and the straight ones are trying to win money by pretending to be gay, which is insane.
And you'll find out more in that episode. So
not next episode, the episode after, but
a teaser.
Until then, next time is going to be our classic episode on some fun 2000s topics. So if you have any ideas, tweet at us, message us on Instagram, comment on our TikToks at What in the Naughties. That's at What in the 00s, and on YouTube as well.
Yes. And I also want to say
like
that apologies for my lighting. It will get better. I will work on it.
Yeah,
it's very orange.
I feel like the way that we're recording now is like a bit bootleg. I'm not gonna lie. We'll figure out. We haven't had enough time between the last recorded episode to this one to figure out how to do the recording properly. But so we just
started recording really late to this time around. Last time it was during the day, whereas now it's like
We'll sort something out. So next time you see our beautiful faces, they'll hopefully be a little bit less pixelated, a little bit more high def. I feel like I forgot to even mention at the start of the episode that it's recorded, but I might just do a little voice memo instead. Yeah, I think I'll do that. I'll definitely do that. But thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, leave us a review. And that's all I have to say.
Yes, indeed. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye. Peace out.
A-Town. No, that's the receipts.